I am someone who dreams big, but does absolutely nothing about it. Nothing. And I'm not saying it in a cute and relatable way. No. Like I will literally have a vision sitting in my heart for years. And all my daily actions, everything I'm doing, will have nothing to do with it. Nothing. And what was I doing instead? I was doing Ponzi schemes, crypto airdrops, selling underwear, teaching in a primary school. You know all these underdeveloped primary school. That was what I was doing. Anything that can give me money right now, I'm doing it. And the dangerous part of this is that I was calling it waiting on God. Living like this is called survival mode, and I know most of you know what that means. And one thing about survival mode is that it has a way of making your dream feel irresponsible. Now I'm talking about my dream to actually end poverty in Nigeria, to change things, not just help a few people, but on a macro scale, change the system that is actually keeping people poor. But everything I was doing was just about immediate survival, how to get through the week. That was what I was focused on. And the issue is that when your whole energy is going into how to eat, how to pay rent, how to buy clothes, all these petty things, how to get through the day, how to work things out, all your action will be about that immediate relief that you want right now. You can't think long term. Everything you're thinking about is short term. Clamageloni, what are we going to wear tomorrow? What am I going to do? It's about present situation. Whatever issues you have right now, if it is rent that maybe your rent is about to be due, that will be your main focus. You can't think beyond what I dream as how. What's time to be dream? When that dream stays in your heart for such a long time, for years, it begins to feel more and more like a fantasy. Like this is not something for people that have my kind of problem or people that have my kind of bills. Maybe generally when came a lot dream. What do you mean by that? No. So you understand what I'm trying to say? And I'm sure most of us sometimes feel that way as well. That's why you dream so big and you look at the environment. I'm living inside one room. I never even pay my rent. You're talking about in Nigeria. You relegate it without even giving it a second thought. And the worst part, we often spiritualize it. But you can spiritualize it how you want. You can call it waiting on God. I'm just trusting God for my miracle. I'm just waiting for my own appointed time. Use all the religious vocabulary you want. It doesn't change anything. You are just surviving this particular season that you are in. Deep down in your heart, you know, you are not using this season to build yourself. You are just surviving it. It's your season that is controlling everything you do. And that's exactly where I was. I was doing everything that would give me immediate relief. Let me just, well, after I have eaten today, after we do this, after we do that. And the issue is that problem never stops coming. It never stops. It will always keep coming. One thing to the other, one thing to the other. That's how it keeps coming. And when you are so focused on this, you can't even remember dream or future plans or vision for that matter. And sometimes it's not even because you are lazy or irresponsible. Definitely not. It's mostly because you look at yourself and you feel like, the difference between where I am and what this dream actually required of me, the gap is too much, and it feels impossible for you to even cross it. And so what do? You just give up. You stay in your comfort zone. You keep living your day-to-day life and trying to survive it. Until a day, I was just reading my Bible when I saw a Bible story that completely shifted my perspective about it. God called the Israelites out of Egypt. And what did he do? He took them to the desert first, through the wilderness. And they wandered there for 40 years. Just wandering around, doing one thing at a time, staying in one spot, moving, just different issues. And they were not moving forward. Sometimes they will move forward, they will still move back. It was as if they are moving in a cycle. Nothing was changing. God did not take them to the promised land streets. So that used to make me think, God, but you had the power to take them just from that Egypt and take them directly to the promised land that you've promised them. So why make them wander for years? But then the children of Israelites, they were coming from Egypt. The ways, the culture, everything about them has become that of Egypt. So most of them were born, but they grew up there. Their ancestors have been living there for over 400 years. So you imagine, some of them don't even know where they come from anymore. They just know they were Israelites and they were slaves there. They needed to unlearn Egypt. Their way of life, everything they had learned in Egypt. If they had carried it into Canaan, they would have used it to destroy Canaan and even destroyed themselves in the process. So God needed to take them to that wilderness for them to learn, to rebuild, to unlearn, to relearn. They also need to learn how to depend on God directly, how to depend on Him for food, how to depend on Him for water, how to depend on Him for direction, for everything, so that they could become the kind of people that can actually hold what God wants to give. God wasn't trying to punish them in the desert. He was trying to prepare them, to make them the kind of people that could actually sustain the promised land that He wants to take them into. And that's the case for some of us. God has showed you the vision. You have seen it clearly. You know what the future holds, or maybe you just even have just a general idea, which is enough to help you go on. But what do? You keep asking God, when is that time coming? When will you open door? Or all your prayer is focused on God, open that door for me, open that door for me. Instead of you to, in this your waiting season, in this your season that you are right now, your current season, the real question you should be asking is, God, what are you trying to build through me? You should be asking God, who are you becoming in this wilderness? That should be your main focus. So stop asking God, open doors. Yeah, always pray to open doors. But in times like this, you know it's not happening yet, and God has a reason why it's not happening yet. Your focus should be, God, what am I becoming? So that you can utilize that season in the correct and most optimal way. I told you that there's a particular story that completely changed my mindset. This is the story. It was the story of Daniel. Daniel was taken as slaves into Babylon, into a broken empire. He was taken into a land filled with idolatry, sinners. He was in a place where everything about his identity, everything about his faith came under scrutiny, came under attack. So at that point, he had every reason to say, I'm just going to survive. I'm just going to keep my head down and let me just survive. This situation is not good, or it's not, what am I going to do? I'm already a slave. I don't have control over anything. No. What did he do instead? He built up himself. He studied. He learned. He became disciplined. He built his prayer life. He was known for his excellence. Do you understand how much it takes? You need to let that thing shift your mindset. You are in a season, you can't do anything about it. Forget it. You can do something. You have free will. You can be responsible for either you are responsible for your actions. You can choose to do it or not. Yeah, everything around you might not be palatable, but you still have a choice. Your choice. And that was what Daniel knew, and he did. And he upped his actions. Can you imagine being a slave, praying consistently when you know that the king is against this thing? Building discipline, studying. Like, what are you studying for? Bro, you are a slave. He was building himself consistently, even at the cost of his life. And he not just build averagely and just be like a mediocre, like a normal average person. What did he do? He developed expertise for them to be able to single him out and bring him into the palace. What do you think happened? He must be better than even people that were born, that were real citizens of that land. His excellence made him distinct. He cultivated wisdom, not just any wisdom, godly wisdom. And by the time God opened the door for influence, what happened? He was able to sustain it for over 3 generations of kings. He was ready. He did not just walk into the palace hoping that God will help me wing it. What did he entered prepared as a fully formed made man. And that was the part I was missing. I kept waiting for the opportunity. I kept waiting for the resources. I kept waiting for the right time, the perfect time, things to align, for maybe things to get better. I wanted the door to open before I can start becoming the person that God wants me to be. Daniel did not wait for Babylon to get better. So why would I, Deborah, wait? So I'm saying to you today, and God is saying to you as well, don't wait for things to get better before you start being excellent. Build it in this Nigeria, in this insecurity, in this obscurity. Build in this lack, in this waiting season. Build now. So let me be practical with you. What does building yourself actually looks like? Because I know how this goes. You watch this video, you feel something, and what else? You close the app, and that's it. Daniel did not just add a vision, he had a practice. He was building his mind, his discipline, his relationship with God. In the middle of it, he was building those things. All these things that Daniel built, you can build it in whatever broken system you are right now. If you're in Nigeria, you know there's a lot going on right now. Bandits, inflation, different issues. But you can still do something. You can build your mind. You have control over it. You can build your discipline. You can build your relationship with God. You can work on character flaws that you have. So I'm going to ask you an honest question right now, and I want you to answer me honestly. What are you building? I'm not asking what you are believing God for. What are you building? What are you studying? What character flaw are you actively working on? What does your prayer life look like? Not on a regular Sundays where you go to church, yeah, everyone does, but on a normal Wednesday, Tuesdays, when no one is watching. Because the gap between your dream and that reality, that dream that you want, is not fate. It's your formation. And that formation is not glamorous. Nobody will clap for you, nobody will see you, but it's the only thing that will determine if you'll be able to be the kind of person to hold that thing that you keep asking God for. Because until you become that person, that door is not going to open. And if it opens, by luck or whatever universe, how the way works, you will end up destroying it. And that's not what we want. Because we don't just want to get there, we want to be able to sustain it, sustain that dream, that reality when we get there. We don't want to be the one to be the face of disappointment unto God, unto Christianity, unto our faith. No, right now I don't have a plan yet, and I know you don't have it. You probably don't have a plan as well yet. And if you have it, fine. I'm still in that desert. I'm still in that wilderness, figuring out how to make things work. But one thing I've stopped doing is that I've stopped confusing waiting on God with doing nothing. The Israelites wandered in the desert for 40 years and they still weren't ready. But Daniel walked into the palace because he was. Same God, different outcomes. So now you have the vision. Now go become that person. Start today. Not when things get better. Not when Nigeria becomes more safer. Not when the inflation comes down. Not when the opportunity show up. Today, in this season, in this lack, in all the excuses that I know you are listing in your head, forget about it. Just key into that thing that I must make this thing work. I must build myself. Don't you want to become that person that you want to be? Don't you want to look back 10 years ago and say, oh, I'm happy that I actually did this? Look back and be happy about the choices you made. So go and become that excellent person. Be like Daniel. Emulate his behavior. Read about his story and let it guide your daily actions. So if this video has helped you, click on that like button, and if you want more content like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't just do nothing. You know, I just said it. Don't just do nothing. Subscribe, doesn't cost you anything. Turn on your notification bell so that when my video drops, you'll always be the first one to know. And if you are currently in a season right now, your waiting season, when things are not going well, you're not feeling the way you should, I want you to comment nothing down below. Share with us about what is currently going on, and we'll support you and encourage you. I read every one of your comments. And thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.